Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For this video, I'm going to be answering your questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram a few weeks ago. I'm excited to go through them, so let's just get started. For the first question, Gerudo Gal asks, next event? My next confirmed event is one that me and my coworker are organizing. It's a fundraiser for the food bank. We did one back in October, and it was a huge success. I wasn't expecting that many people to show up and help us raise money for the food bank. I think we raised about $150 something just with the two of us. So that was really good. So we're planning on doing one on May 11th, and it's going to be like a Mother's Day event. So I'm going to be bringing lots of crochet flowers and dolls that are kind of like related to Mother's Day. So that's going to be our next event, and of course, a percentage of proceeds from that event will also go towards the London Food Bank. Gerudo Gal also asks what my favorite Animal Crossing villager is, and I'm a huge fan of Animal Crossing. I just love the little characters and how you can design your own little city or island. So I've been playing that a lot recently now with my best friend, and we've been working on getting her island set up because she started over. So we've been working on getting it all pretty and looking lovely and having the villagers that are kind of cute. So my favorite villager is Sherb. This is my first Animal Crossing game I've ever played, Animal Crossing New Horizons, back in 2020. So I didn't know any of the characters. So I just got whatever characters landed on my island first, and Sherb was one of them to move in, and I just love him. He's just a little blue goat, and he has this sleepy personality, so he's kind of lazy. He's very chill. He's super cute. He's me as an Animal Crossing villager. Lems Doodles asks, what's your favorite Hello Kitty character? And Sunny Jess, you are the best from your moon. So cute. So my favorite Hello Kitty character is Cinnamoroll. I love him to eternity and back. I am definitely a sucker for anything Cinnamoroll themed or any kind of merch related to Cinnamoroll. I just really like how floppy his ears are and just the type of character that he is. Just feels like he would give the best hugs, basically. So yeah, that's why he's my favorite. I like his soft color palette, the pastel pink for his cheeks and the blue for his eyes. It basically matches my vibe. My second favorite Hello Kitty character is My Melody, and I say that because I kind of dress a lot like her. I take a lot of my clothing inspiration from her as well. The whole idea of the pastel fairy Jess was because I just really like Hello Kitty characters and Sanrio in general. And so I took a lot of my inspiration for my artwork, and for basically my whole aesthetic comes from Sanrio. What is your favorite Zelda character? So push aside Link and Zelda and the other main characters in the games, I would have to say Mipha. More recently, Mipha from Breath of the Wild. I really like her character lore. Her backstory with how she knew Link when he was a little child growing up, and to watch him grow. And I just think that it's so tragic and it's so heartbreaking. She sacrificed her life to save Hyrule, just as the other champions did. But her story hit me a little bit differently because she does have a younger brother named Sidon, and just the two of them, their relationship is so cute, and it reminds me of me and my little brother. So yeah, that's why I really resonate with Mipha. What is my favorite doll that I've crocheted? It probably has to be my Zelda themed dolls, because these ones, I put so much work into them. And this was when I was still new to pattern designing, and this is when I opened my Ribbler shop. So I opened my Ribbler shop and I released these two as a double pack, as a bundle, and you get Link and Epona. But I just really like how they came out. I free-handed both of them, so yeah, I'm very proud of myself for making them. He's so derpy too, just look at his face. Rio Art Makes asks a two-part question. So how do you come up with ideas for things to crochet, and where do you buy your wool or yarn? So first of all, I don't really have any kind of inspiration for making things. It kind of just comes naturally, and I get inspired by things I like. Like for the Zelda dolls, I really enjoyed playing the Zelda games, and same with the Pikmin. I also designed those. I just really like playing video games and having some sort of merch to go along with it, because the official merch tends to be kind of like not very good quality, and I just don't like the way it's designed most of the time, and it's quite expensive. So if I can make it, I will. In terms of markets and stuff, I just kind of go about the season. So if it's springtime, I'll make like bunnies, chicks, ducks, whatever you name it. For the fall, I'll make more fall themed dolls like pumpkins, ghosts, things like that. For winter time, obviously, like holiday themed dolls, holiday colors. I just try to stay like on theme with what's happening around me, especially if I'm going to an event that is a specific theme. Like for the game chamber, I had that event back in September of 2024, and the theme was like geeky or nerdy. So I decided to crochet a bunch of Nintendo dolls because I love Nintendo. So I made like a bunch of Pokemon, Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, you name it. And for the next part of the question, where I buy my yarn, most of my yarn is bought from Michaels because they have the Loops and Threads branded yarn, and I use a lot of that in my chenille kind of plushies, like the softer, thicker yarn. I don't like Bernat blanket yarn. I think it's so hard to make a magic ring with it. I've never had issues with the chenille yarn from Michaels, so I've been using that. And plus it feels a lot softer than the Bernat. I do use Bernat, just their regular like acrylic yarn, because it's kind of hard to mess up acrylic yarn. So I buy that from Walmart as well, or Michaels. Sometimes they have it on sale. When I buy yarn, I always try to look for deals. And so I made a video previously about affordable products, and the Loops and Threads and Bernat are pretty affordable, especially if you're going to Michaels and you have like coupons and stuff. They always have coupons literally every day. You either get like 30% off or 40% off one item. So yeah, and I like to make multiple purchases so that you can use the coupon multiple times, and I've never had any issues with that. So if you wanted to learn more about like affordable yarn and my thoughts about it, check out the video that I previously posted. Ollie Doll Draws asks, would you rather be a mermaid, fairy, or elf? So a mermaid, I feel like, would be kind of boring. Not like the aesthetic of a mermaid, but like where they live. You're only allowed to stay in the water, in the ocean. And for me personally, the ocean is kind of a scary place. I don't like watching documentaries about what's underwater, because there's all kinds of like creepy fish and sharks, and it's all dark down there, and it just freaks me out. So no for a mermaid. An elf, very cute, very like woodland type. They live in forests. They probably have magical powers. The aesthetic though, the kind of like woodland theme, kind of like greenish blue or like brown. I feel like it's not me, and personally I would enjoy being an elf, but at the same time I would want to dress very like pink and you know, my aesthetic and pastel like. So I would have to go with a fairy. That's my whole persona. So yeah, fairy matches my aesthetic. They have magic powers. They're very pretty, cute, tiny. Basically my whole personality. AP Zelda asks, what inspired you to create art? I don't really have any inspiration for my art, really, unless you call like my paintings, my landscapes. They are inspired by the Zelda games, and I think that's kind of like where I get my inspiration, and I add my own touch on the paintings as well. So like here's some examples here. I'll post them here. You can see these are ones I did last year, and some are made with gouache, some are made with acrylic paint. But I like to enhance some of the details in the paintings. So in the game, when you take a picture, and and you want to look at it, it's kind of hard to see what's happening in the background. So I like to enhance those details when I paint. Kitten's Yarn asks a two-part question. What is your favorite part about making art, and what are some of your biggest inspirations? So I already went over my inspirations, kind of like Zelda themed. Anything I really like within video games or just nature around me is my inspiration for creating art. And what is my favorite part about making art is I like to plan it. Like, I literally, before I start even drawing or sketching it out on the paper, I have this image in my head, and I basically just follow what I'm thinking. And sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it turns out bad. You never know unless you try. So I really like the trusting the process in art, because if you look at my paintings from start to finish, you would not believe that it would turn out the way it did. And honestly, like, having trust in your own work is one of the most strongest things an artist can ever have, because if you are an artist that wants your art to look beautiful from the start, you're not going to get very far, because every piece of art starts somewhere, and they start very bland, they start very colorless. And if you don't like the way your art is turning out from the beginning, you're not going to make it to the end, because you're just going to say, oh, forget about it. It's not looking the way I want it to. Meanwhile, you have to layer your paints, you have to add shading, add lighting, add shadows. So it's not an easy process. It is very time consuming, but I really like, looking at my art from start to finish and seeing just the art form itself. Yu-Yo's Art asks 3 questions. First of all, how did you get into art? Second, what is your favorite creation? And third, any advice for beginners? So how did I get into art? I've always been an art girly since I was a little kid. I've always been told since kindergarten that my drawings are very, advanced for someone who is just 5 years old. And I sort of enjoyed it, and I continued along. And in grade 9 throughout high school, I have taken several art courses, and I have refined my skills, basic skills that I need to create art. After high school, I stopped taking courses, and I'm more like self-taught. So last year, actually, I just decided to buy a bunch of new products that I've never used before, like gouache and oil pastels and watercolors, pencils, and I just explored. So that's how I got into art, and that's how I'm continuing on. I'm just learning on my own. What is my favorite creation? My favorite painting is obviously one of my Zelda screenshots. It's this one here. I absolutely love how it turned out, because, again, with the whole trust the process thing, painting with yellow is painful. Painting with gouache that is yellow is even more painful, because the yellow tends to be very runny and it's not very opaque. So it's so hard to layer it with using water, because it kind of smudges into the other colors in the background. So I struggled with this painting. It took maybe 10 hours or so. Lots and lots of layering in the trees, in the foreground, just to get that beautiful, beautiful hue of yellow. And I think that's why my favorite piece tends to be this one. It's because I remember myself almost giving up halfway because I couldn't get the trees right. And I just kept going. I kept going, and mixing the yellow with a little bit of white to make it more stronger really helped. So yeah, that's my favorite artwork. So that's the last question that I have to answer for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for participating in this Q&A. It's been a while since I've done one. I think exactly 1 year ago when I first opened my Pastel Fairy shop. So seeing that kind of change, and seeing how many new friends I've made along the way is truly, truly something that I'm grateful for. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.